All right, good.
Okay, so it's 7:30, so welcome to people that are coming to hear more about the IT part of STAT. We are very heavily student-driven, and so we are going to allow our students in the Stafford STAT IT program. It's been a long night. We're going to let the students share their information and share their presentations they created for this. We have a lot of student involvement with the STAT program. So I'm going to let them introduce themselves and take it away. So go ahead, Jenna.
Hi, my name is Jenna Simonik. I am the senior here, and I am the current student council president.
Hello, I'm Daniela Rodriguez, and I'm a junior, and I'm in the STAT Student Council.
Hello, I'm Kayla Osborne. I'm a sophomore in the STAT Student Council.
Hey guys, I'm a freshman in STAT Student Council, and I'm excited to have you guys tonight.
So to start off, we kind of want to do a brief over of what the information technology would include. So with our programming, we use Java, and typically our compiler would be BlueJ. But of course, where you will be having to learn the Java language, you can use whatever compiler you feel most confident and best with. It will be object-oriented, and during a lot of your other CSP type classes with cybersecurity, you will be learning mobile app designs. So kind of learning how you create mobile apps like the ones you have on your phone or your computers. Along with this, a lot of the times you will be learning digital citizenship, ethical hacking, and cybersecurity. This helps you learn how the internet works and how you can better use it for yourself and protect you and others around you, especially if you want to be in a cybersecurity type workforce. Along with that, we do a lot of problem solving. Typically, this comes with our coding, but a lot of times we are presented a lot of problems and we have to figure out a way in order to fix it using coding, using what we're currently learning in cybersecurity to help defend or whatever it might be. And a lot of the times, if anything or anyone gets stuck with our cohort, you can always ask someone else, and it's really group-based as well. Along with this, our program also offers a lot of student opportunities. Leadership roles like the one that me, Sean, Danny, and Kayla have. We work to help better our program altogether, and it really helps for later on experience as well. Community service, we work as much as we can with our community, and that's one of our very strong relationships that we have with the county. And it really offers a lot of work that you could use later on for experience as well. When it comes down to internships, it's also obviously very helpful for those who are seniors and especially going out. Since we have a really good relationship with the county, a lot of times you can easily find internships through this program with them. And a lot of our learning is definitely work-based. We don't often work out of textbooks. It is mostly on hands-on learning, especially with each other. We always help each other out whenever somebody gets stuck.
So in freshman year, you learn Cybersecurity 1, and this is basically introductory cybersecurity basic, and the cybersecurity that you learn in freshman year, you can build on that in sophomore, junior, and senior years. And you also study computer and internet history, digital citizenship, and awareness.
In your sophomore year, we are learning how to program and how to code, and we are currently using the Java language with BlueJ. And we learn the language we use with it, all the vocabulary, most of the vocabulary that goes into it, and we learn the basic skills and fundamentals of programming and coding with Java. And we are given a few programs each week to do, so that is and it's very good hands-on experience. And it's like fundamentals for when you get into your higher grades, when you learn how to do applications and websites and stuff like that.
So in junior year, you take both AP Computer Science A and AP Computer Science Principles. For AP Computer Science A, you build upon what you learned in advanced programming in sophomore year, and you learn to refine it with more project-based curriculum. You enhance it, essentially, using the same applications like BlueJ. For AP Computer Science Principles, you use programs like Mobile CSP Principles or App Inventor to develop apps and discuss real-world events and study the concept of abstraction.
So in your senior year, you will be combining the last 2 years of your programming knowledge. And we do this by having project-based applications called our capstone project, which is basically where the student goes out into the community and finds a client with a real-life problem that they can help solve using their programming. In cybersecurity 2, we advance on your first cybersecurity curriculum that you took in your freshman year and use that real-world application for the cyber technology in order to kind of work, especially at a older age, kind of help that work forward and get you better with threat awareness and ethical hacking and cyber technology in general. So it just gives you that better in on the internet. So with our STAT Student Council, we are student run and we help to promote our community involvement and student involvement with the STAT program, especially whenever it comes down to getting improvements as well, because it's something very important that we get from our student point of view. And we also, with this, we get a lot of leadership opportunities. I know coming into this, I was very awkward and it wasn't very good for me at first because I just didn't have that leadership skill at all. But having now been a senior and been in the student council since it started, it really did help with this. And a lot of our events that go on, like social events, our code, and stuff like that, we set up ourselves. And even like events like this, we mostly try to do our part. And while we might have our sponsors and advisors there, we do what we can in order to be as much of a student-run organization as we can. So for digital orientation, basically what this was is what we do is we take in the freshmen coming into the IT force, and what we do is we kind of give them a sort of flight school where we kind of introduce them to the school and also each other. So whenever they first come in, they already have some sort of buddy or knowledge of who each other are, especially if that person's being a travel student and now you're visiting 2 schools a day and you don't know either of them. It really helps having somebody you already know beforehand. This also helps them to not only socialize, but it allows them to answer and ask any more questions about the program or the school life that they're going to have. And a lot of this just involves games and having fun.
With our code, we would normally go to the elementary schools and we would set up computers and have different sessions of grades come in, and we teach the little kids how to code on our code. And it's kind of like exposing to them to the opportunity of that they have programming, they have technology as an option that they can go to, and for the most part they end up doing it themselves or helping themselves out with the code. But it's nice to see that they would have liked doing the code as a programmer. It's very fulfilling, and yeah. And then and so this is also another sort of community service hour that would be included in your hours that you could do if you end up being in student council or just in general.
So something that we also offer throughout our years. Obviously, this year it is unavailable due to COVID, but we try to get at least one field trip in. And we've also been starting to do something where it's kind of seniors and juniors have more of a field trip coordinated towards their IT interest. And since they're coming towards the end of their high school years, something that can definitely go well for their future workforce is we do field trips to museums and workplaces around us that actually work in the IT field itself, so that this kind of gives a outlook and exposure to what they might be stepping into whenever they leave high school and go to college and look for internships or jobs. So Virginia Star isn't something directly coordinated with IT, but we do work with them often. So basically, it's a student-run community service organization where they take in computers from the community and people who don't need them anymore, workforces, or schools, and we take them in and we refurbish them, make them work better, make them nice again, and we give them back out to the community, especially to families, schools, or jobs in need, so that they have better computers to help run everything on, especially for students who need computers, especially like this year. The reason why a lot of students in the Stat IT end up working with Virginia Star is because with your IT classes, you work mostly with the software part of the computers, but with Virginia Star, it helps kind of enforce the hardware side of it as well. Questions and comments?
For the first question, I don't think there's any AI intro classes, but there in the class I'm taking right now, the AP Computer Science A, we did do a chat box program, which was a chatbot, which was really, really interesting. And I think you'd find an interest towards that.
The other thing too is when you get to be a senior, you get to take IB Computer Science, and during that you get to kind of design your own program, and you do that working with a client. So if you were interested in something like AI, you could find a client who wanted something like that, and you could work with them to come up with your own program that works with that type of topic. So the cool thing about this is a lot of the things you can make it be what you want it to be. So if your interest is in animation, or if you're interested in AI or hardware or software, whatever it is you're interested in, we can find a place for it in the program.
Is it difficult for the students to balance stat with their regular classes? For me personally, it isn't. We have for our classes, it's normally regular classes like that you would normally go to, but it's not hard to balance it considering we only have like 1 or 2 classes that are solely for stat.
Okay, and then what about, is it harder to keep track of work with the traveling?
The traveling isn't, it'll really depend on if teachers aren't as understanding with whenever you leave and there might be some time left in class, they aren't supposed to do extra things. But I think for the most part, students are working pretty well. They will have some issues every now and then, but again, teachers are pretty understanding in that part, or at least they try to be, and especially with workload in general, because our IT teacher is very close with us, and the other IT teachers work together with that. They're also very understanding of each other's workload, so they try not to overbear you with a lot of their own work as well.
And just to add to that, I'm the lead stat teacher, and so once a month the stat teachers get together and we have a meeting where we talk about the stat program and the stat students, and we can talk about big projects that are coming up so that we don't overwork the kids. And also, if there is a problem with a teacher who, is giving extra work or going over new material during the time that students are traveling, that's happened on several occasions, and I've been able to work with that teacher and get that figured out. So it's nothing that we can't overcome. So traveling, we've done this for a number of years now, and we've kind of got it down to a science. So travel hasn't been too big of an issue, and it really hasn't been an issue at all this year. The other nice thing with travel is that the way travel works, if you wanted to be in an extracurricular at your own school, let's say you want to be a marching band or on a sports team or something that meets after school, you will travel to Brook Point for your IT program, but then at the end of the day, you'll get back to your school in time to do any extracurricular that you want to do at your base school. We've had kids in marching band, we've had kids do all kinds of sports, and that has never been an issue. Does anybody have any other questions? Got the coursework? Okay, there we go. Okay, good. So Sean says, my non-stat classes give me more homework than my stat classes do, but your mileage may vary. Very good. And I do have to say that the cohort model is wonderful. As you can see in the picture, that's up on the screen right now, those kids just met for the first time that morning. And so as a cohort, everyone gets to meet, but you end up taking 4 classes all together. And you end up going through all 4 years of high school with the same students. And they develop, it becomes a family. Sometimes a little more dysfunctional than others, but it is definitely a family. And I know they all have group chats and they help each other with programs. They help each other solve problems. And I will say this too, I've had 2 of my children go through the STAT program, and they still keep in contact with the students that they went to school with in the STAT program. My daughter's at George Mason right now as a freshman, and it's all online classes. But the really cool thing is she's in online classes with some of the kids from her STAT cohort. And so nothing changed. It's like she went right on to college along with the same kids that she went to school with. And because they had that close-knit, 4-year relationship in the cohort, it's continued on to help them in college when, a lot of other students in college right now don't have anyone that they know because it's all virtual. And so that's been another huge advantage of the STAT program with the cohort. So I am a firm believer in the cohort. Again, the teachers all talk to each other once a month, and we try to find ways to improve the program, come up with field trips. We work with the STAT Student Council. So it's a very, very tight-knit organization, and I highly recommend it. Okay, so if you want to stay and ask more questions, that's fine. If not, you are free to go. And we will be coming around to the middle schools to talk to students individually through their counselors. We're going to have some virtual meetings, virtual meets with the middle school students. So if you guys want to know more information, or if you come up with new questions, we'll be coming to your school soon, and you'll be able to ask those questions then. And I think that's all I was supposed to announce. But thank you for coming, and thank you for your questions, and let us know if you have any more of those.